Okay, so another full week of running a online Pokemon card business has come and gone, and I wanted to share with you a few updates about the business and explain some of my rationale behind some of the decisions I made and sort of some 2020 hindsight on some decisions I made in the previous week and talk about the game plan going forward, as well as just some of my general thoughts about how this week has gone and how I see this whole entire business performing. Generally, this week was okay. I was super excited. Last week, whenever I posted my last video, I had said, if I could make my very first sale, then that would make my whole week. And we were successful. Actually, we were able to actually make a first sale online. It wasn't any of the Japanese booster boxes, which I was a little bit disappointed in, or any of the Korean booster boxes. But we did sell a bunch of these extra Crown Zenith. Oh, that's not it. We did sell a bunch of these extra Crown Zenith booster packs that we had laying around from the Sea and Sky boxes that I'd had. I thought that maybe having some like desirable English product in the store would be something that would help sort of kick us off to a good start, and it kind of did. It was the first thing to sell. Turns out I had actually sort of underpriced it a little bit. Again, my fault, not keeping up with the market price of the items that I've listed in my own store. Congratulations to you if you are watching this. And thank you for your purchase. I genuinely appreciate it. But yes, I had priced it. I think it was like $5.75 per pack. And I think the market price, the going price of the Crown Zenith booster packs was somewhere around $7 per pack. And that's not the end of the world, not a huge deal. The person took advantage of the fact that we were giving a 5% discount to our subscribers to the newsletter or our email list. So they got an additional 5% off of the already pretty fair price of $5.75. But I was very glad to be able to see some of the product move out of the store, as well as see some of that money return to our pocket so we can continue to invest it in other products, specifically Japanese products, in the future. Following that, just a couple of days later, I've actually been listing some of my Japanese booster boxes on Facebook Marketplace. It's a little bit easier for me to move that on there because sort of Marketplace, again, you can leverage the fact that Marketplace has its own brand, right? Facebook has its own brand, and you can sort of borrow from that brand by listing on Marketplace. And if you have good ratings and, you're a generally honest person, people will trust you. I found that being a responsive seller, someone who responds fairly quickly, has been very like successful tactic for me as far as selling in person, as well as not having to pay any of the fees that are generally associated with eBay or any of the other online marketplaces like TCG Player. Just being nice, friendly, genuine person has led to some success. So our second sale has come and gone, and we were able to sell one of our Japanese Battle Partners booster boxes, and that was very exciting. So additional money back into our pocket that we can now invest into our business. I think the main goal for me for this business right now is growth, and I want it to be sustainable growth at that. I don't want it to be super fast or that I'm not able to keep up. I do have a lot of supplies and materials that most people generally don't start out with, and that's mostly because I have some experience from selling online. I have an eBay store that I sell a lot of like mishmash of items on, generally just like action figures and sealed action figure products. So I have a lot of varieties of different sizes of boxes that I use to ship those out and get them to the customers that I sell to on eBay. So that's sort of an advantage that I already have there. So whenever this person had bought some of the products from us before, I was able to ship that out in a appropriately sized box, safely packed in bubble wrap as well as packing paper, and get that off to them safely. And I hope by the time you're seeing this video that it has arrived to you if you are subscribed to this channel. Okay, so the next part I wanted to follow up with you is that we've been going over some of our website features. And I don't generally do a whole lot of the building of the website. That's not really my specialty area. I'm more of the face-to-face kind of conversation I'm more of the face-to-face kind of conversation person. I do enjoy making, content, and this is sort of my wheelhouse. Whereas my brother Joseph, he's a little bit more into like the website building and the marketing aspect of things, and so he's really taken the lead in building out our website and making it a little bit more user friendly and making the, banners look nice and making sure all of the pictures are appropriately sized and they don't look ridiculous. Like something that I didn't realize whenever I started putting the products in is that like you need to make sure that all of your product photos are like the same size. So like if someone clicks on like your booster boxes, category or whatever, and all of the like different boxes are, different sizes because you pulled them from different like Google Images listings, it's going to look really bad. And some people might be put off by that if it doesn't have like a clean user interface. So my recommendation to you would be to take the image that you want to use for your website and put it into Canva, and then just size it like 1,000 by 1,000 pixels or whatever size that you want to use for your images, and make sure that they are all of the same general size, and it just looks a lot more professional. Continuing on with some of the other website updates, Joseph has also taken on the helm of creating blog posts. So we talked a little bit about illustration rares. I'm sure any of you people who are watching this video have seen that illustration rares have just absolutely taken off as far as the market is concerned, and some of their gains have outpaced even the special illustration rares that were generally considered to be a little bit more valuable than them. For example, the Ghastly from Temporal Forces. It has risen from a $40 card to nearly a $65 card in the span of like 2 weeks, which is, I mean, way outpaced the Walking Wake from the same set, which has pretty much held steady around the $60 mark, and even in some occasions on some days lost value. So we can see that the illustration rares have really taken off. I think that providing some insight into those illustration rares themselves and investigating the market trends and just posting it on a blog, it helps sort of flesh out our website, provide a little bit more content, and provide more valuable assets or information to people who like to read that kind of thing, and maybe they aren't really into watching videos about it. So good job, Joseph, if you're watching this. We really appreciate you doing that. Okay, in addition to that, this week we also received our shipment of more products from Korea. And I got 3 separate sets from this, which I was able to spend more money to get more products. The Korean prices aren't quite as elevated as Japanese prices, so I was able to sort of spread it around a little bit more. So I got 3 different sets from the Korean TCG distributor, and I got 3 sets of Korean booster boxes, which includes the Wild Forces, the Crimson Haze, and Paradise Dragona. I was excited to get these products, of course, because this was, actually my first purchase for the business, right? So I had created this plan to buy Korean product first, because I was like, okay, yeah, Korean product, this is what's going to help build this business. It's a fair price, and the margins are generally more tolerable. Even if I had to move some of it on eBay or TCG Player, we could still sort of profit in this space and sort of put that back into the business to continue building our capital in order to buy other things that are a little bit more desirable and will move a little bit quicker. And as it turns out, Korean products are just not generally as desirable as Japanese products. The only real time when Korean products seem to be the next hot item is when the Japanese market is way too expensive. So let's say, for example, Japanese 151 booster boxes are like $150 on TCG Player right now, which is insane. That is a really expensive price for someone to pay for a card that they probably can't even read. But Korean 151 booster boxes are about $70, and you get about the same amount of cards from a Korean booster box that you do a Japanese booster box. The arts are about the same, the quality of the cards are generally the same, and you'll get a lot more for the money that you spend, as well as having the opportunity to open packs with your kids or your family at a reasonable price. My mistake here was purchasing sets that aren't generally as desirable, and not that I think that these sets are desirable at all. I like Wild Force personally, but I just don't think Wild Force or Crimson Haze or Paradise Dragona has necessarily reached the point in the Japanese market where it is not very affordable for the general consumer. And these people aren't generally looking to purchase these specific sets in Korean, sort of as the dominoes begin to fall. Japanese is too expensive, so people move on to Korean. So it wasn't the super smartest business purchase I could have made with the money that we spent, but I am glad to have the variety of product in the shop, and I can still provide an incredible value on some really cool cards to people who do like collecting these sets if in the future they ever do become very expensive in the Japanese market. And I will tell you that all three of these sets in the English market are very expensive and impossible to find. Continuing on for shipments received this week, we've also received our shipment of Japanese art rare cards. I purchased about a bulk lot of 100 art rare cards from a Japanese seller that I found on Instagram, and I got a bunch of cards that I think are a really good value. These have all sorts of different Pokemon on them. I got regular art rares as well as character rares in this bulk lot. And to be honest, the arts on these cards are about the same as the ones in English, but they're way less expensive. As we talked about before, the illustration rares in the English market have really skyrocketed in price. And sort of similar in the Japanese market, the prices have gone up, but not nearly as severely as they have in the English market. For example, the Ghastly that I spoke about before in the English market is a $65 card, whereas in the Japanese market, you can get that same exact Ghastly card from the Wild Forces set for about $11. Same exact artwork. Of course, it's written in Japanese, but if you're a collector of cards, then generally the words on the card aren't as important as the artwork, and the artwork is exactly the same. So I think the art rares from the Japanese market are an incredible value, and we got a whole bunch of them that we're going to be putting up on the live auction on Whatnot later this week. And wrapping up the shipments that we've received for the week, we've also received our business cards, which I'm super excited about. We've got our business name on here, Gateway Collectibles, which is on the front. It's got the logo sort of in the inside of the spelling out of the business name. Obviously, we are, paying homage to the St. Louis Arch, which is the monument here in St. Louis, Missouri, with sort of our little wizard logo guy in the middle. On the back of the card, we've got a nice little QR code that will lead you to our website at gatewaycollectibles.shop, as well as all of our socials for people to follow. I plan on including some of these business cards in some of the packages that I send out via TCG Player, or if I sell any of the products that we have in our shop on eBay, I will include these in the packages just to get a little bit more brand awareness to people so that they can see that, we do sell outside of these two other avenues, and we can provide some savings to people if we're not selling to them on eBay, because I don't have to eat the 13% fees that eBay and TCG Player will charge me, and I can pass those savings along to the customer. In addition to that, I also plan on handing these out at the very first local show that my brother and I have signed up for, coming up later next month in April, which I'm super excited about. I've got a lot of plans and ideas for the show that I'll share in another video once I sort of have them more fully formed. And that's all of the exciting updates that we've had for our business this week. Planning for the future for Gateway Collectibles. I continue to plan on making Pokemon and collectibles related content. I really like focusing on Pokemon because the algorithm kind of loves it. Every time I make a TikTok or a meme or like an Instagram reel or a YouTube short that focuses on Pokemon, I get way more views than I would if I were to make it about anything else. So I will focus on that for the time being. And as I grow more confident in my ability to sort of do this online business thing where I'm sourcing from distributors and selling at different profit margins and not buying stuff from thrift stores to flip on eBay, I will probably expand into other TCGs as well as include other collectible items, probably bringing more of my sealed action figure collections into the website. But for now, the focus is obviously on Pokemon and trading card game products. As far as future plans for products to include in the Gateway Collectibles shop, the next purchase I plan on making would be obviously to purchase more Japanese products. And I'm going to focus on buying products that I think have a higher sell-through rate when it comes to, desirability. I won't be focusing necessarily quite as much on products that aren't as popular. I will still buy them, but I'll probably buy them in smaller quantities because they're going to be slower sellers. Eventually, like all Pokemon things, the price will go up and people will FOMO them into oblivion and buy everything that's in sight. But for the time being, it just doesn't make financial sense to me to continue buying products that aren't going to move, especially when the speed of cash is so important in a small business such as this. So I'll continue exploring avenues and opportunities to help grow my business. I'm looking a lot into the simplified Chinese market, the 151 gem packs. They have the chase cards in them with the Captain Pikachu and things like that. I am planning on making a purchase of that sometime in the next week to include on our shop. So keep an eye on our website, gatewaycollectibles.shop, to see when we come in stock if you would like to get yours. And that just about wraps up my plans for the future. I have a lot of other ideas that I want to throw out there, but if you have anything that you would like for me to do, or if you have any suggestions for my business or my website, please leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. You know, your subscription and your engagement with me really helps me grow as a business person, and I just genuinely appreciate the interaction. Sometimes it can get a little bit lonely down here in your basement talking to a camera by yourself. But I'm doing this mostly to help sort of document my journey so that I can go back and look and say, hey, you know, look how far I've come, you know, whenever I'm down the road 3 years from now, and instead of seeing a bare brick wall behind me, maybe you see shelves filled with products. So hopefully in about 3 years' time, I can look back on this video and see that. Anyway, that's all the updates I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. If you don't mind, please like, comment, and subscribe. Give me any ideas that you might have, any suggestions that you might have for our website. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.